13 Ghosts, the 2001 remake of the classic William Castle film. This movie is often overlooked, panned by critics, but has developed a nostalgic and cult following, and I am part of that. Welcome back to the Ectoviolence channel. My name is Alec, and today we're going to be talking about 13 Ghosts on VHS. This movie was produced by Dark Castle Entertainment. Dark Castle Entertainment formed to make remakes of William Castle movies from the 1950s and 60s. In 1999, they started with The House on Haunted Hill. Second, they did 13 Ghosts. They also did Ghost Ship, House of Wax, and they still make movies to this day. Let's go ahead and pop the tape in, shall we? There's a couple interesting things here. There's a trailer for Training Day. I had never seen a trailer for this, but Murder by Numbers. I'm actually intrigued now. I think I need to see this movie. There's a TNT ad for Witchblade, and a reminder to stay till after the credits for a special feature. We're going to start off this review talking about the positives. The cast and characters of this movie. Excellent. Tony Shalhoub as Arthur Kutkos. It's pretty standard, nothing too crazy, but he's a good actor, so he does a good job. Matthew Lillard is the standout of this movie. He is the reason to watch this movie. Him and the ghosts. He carries this movie on his back. Shannon Elizabeth as Kathy. She's interesting. I like her being in these sort of cheesy horror movie roles. She's in Jack Frost, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Very terrible, but awesome at the same time. F. Murray Abraham playing the antagonist, the human antagonist. Altogether, there are a bunch of characters that work well together, and it's interesting enough to keep you invested. Let's talk about and explain these 13 ghosts. There's a special feature on the DVD, actually, called The Ghost Files. Cyrus is the narrator, but it goes through and explains the backstory of all the ghosts. The firstborn son, which is the little kid in the cowboy outfit with the arrow in his head. He's not super evil, but he's pretty menacing. The torso, literally just a human torso hanging out. What's going on, human torso? The bound woman. I'm sorry, she died on prom night. I think they mean the bound child. The withered lover, which is Tony Shalhoub's character's wife. The torn prince is sort of a greaser baseball player looking guy. The angry princess. This is the one walking around naked with her tits out.
Hey, nice tits.
The pilgrimess, which is walking around in one of those medieval style torture-like pillories. The great child and the dire mother. Creepy and gross. Moving along. The hammer. Bro just walking around with bunch of railroad spikes in him. The jackal, which looks like the possessed girl in The Exorcist, but with a box cage around her head. And the juggernaut, which is the ghost they capture at the beginning of the movie, which is actually one of my favorite scenes. It's very interesting looking at this world and how they're capturing ghosts. I'm a huge Ghostbusters nerd. They have like ecto goggles and ghost traps in this movie. It's perfect. It's cheesy but awesome at the same time when they're spraying blood around this junkyard trying to lure the ghost out. One guy gets eaten by a car. I like the tragic history of the family that sort of seems to be in a lot of horror movies. You put people who are already dealing with shit and you make them deal with some more shit. And it's very interesting because this kid's like recording a news show, like a podcast, it almost feels like, before podcasts were really a thing. This kid definitely grew up to have a YouTube channel. The lawyer who basically comes to their door and is like, hey, you've inherited this house. He just reminds me of the guy from Wishmaster. Like, he seems like the Wishmaster to me. There's something off about him, you know what I mean? Let's talk about the house for a minute. The production design and the set design of this movie, excellent. When it's showing off everything when they first get in the house and you're looking around in all the different rooms with them, you're kind of just as interested in this house as them. And at the same time, it's kind of annoying. I wouldn't want the whole house to be glass like that, but like in some parts it'd be cool, sure. I really enjoy when Matthew Lillard is trying to explain what ghosts are and how he worked with his uncle.
I used to hunt displaced spiritual energies with your uncle.
Lawyer goes to the basement to get his cash, and when he does this, it locks up the house. Then he gets killed by getting split with glass. This is a comedic kill. Like, glass doesn't work that way. I don't know what they're, what this is. This movie only holds a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's a travesty. Now, I'm not saying this movie's brilliant and that it deserves everyone's respect. You should bow at its feet. That means only 19% of people who reviewed it gave it a positive review. If I'm ever a Rotten Tomatoes critic, I will definitely raise that up a little bit. Because today on the Ectoviolence channel, I am going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 hearts, because I love it. And after the movie's over on the tape, we get a look at the special effects and behind the scenes of this movie. This definitely doesn't have the features that the DVD does, and I have the DVD as well, but I do like in the late 90s and early 2000s, they started adding some more features to tapes. If you like this video, check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.